Got a chip, won't skip, taking trips. By the hips, back and forth, big old lips. At the gate, angel cakes with my pass.
It's a nice view, isn't it?
Every Thursday. You early, it's Wednesday. Also remember you come here, Wayne. This chat pad is where you spend plenty time analyzing your job-related stories. Am I wrong?
I'm just sticking to the reality. I go to my job, work, and go home.
Somebody looks like something great occurred today, and since I haven't seen you all day, I wonder who that somebody is.
Never get, never mind, subtle with
The bus driver.
television.
If I had used public transit today at all, I would have taken the T-bus to Osley Road, but I didn't, which means I seriously doubt the bus driver experienced something great today.
Do you need me to reach out to the group and tell them the meeting is on for later?
Maybe the most popular volunteer in Green Gables,
Should I email them?
running for secretary.
Maybe your family expects me to come over and have dinner again tonight. You know, mashed potatoes, potato salad, English peas, birthday cake flavored ice cream for dessert.
Somebody with enough social experience to know how I like to get around.
Macaroni and cheese, meatloaf, jiffy cornbread,
Maybe 5'6".
and a glass of sweet tea with a straw. Are you sharing this vision with me?
And Louisiana journalist hairdo.
If I don't make it to the dinner table, I'll settle for a $6 or $7 dinner that consists of, by the way, a sandwich that has been sitting in a bin waiting for me to purchase it, an order of fries tucked in a cardboard box,
And
condiments that come in little bitty packets that I'm going to need an armful of to go with the fries, lettuce that I can almost see through, tomato that looks like V8.
Hey,
Not being able to hide the scent of onion on my breath even with yoga.
let's see if I can put two and two together here.
The bag that it's all going to be placed in unless I say for here when the cashier asks for here or to go.
In the poem, I was boring. Did you like it? Add homonym from all of them withdrew while I write it. Puzzle me, muzzle me, I behave.
So I can get it all on a child's plastic tray, and a moment to say my grace, so that I can conscientiously mind the behavior of oneself while I feed my face what I can't hear, from the looks of it, to hear nothing like what I want to hear, like mashed potatoes. Here's the potato salad, Jess. Jess, will you pass the English peas, please? Birthday cake flavored ice cream for dessert, macaroni and cheese, meatloaf, jiffy cornbread, and a sweet tea with a straw.
You know a great deal about empowering others, Jess.
Anything extra you need me to let the others know when I email them about the meeting by chance?
Well, in the UK, if I am correct, if a tomato ever looks like a V8 on it.
Those tomatoes can wait.
About the ice break. What is it? I've got to hear this.
I received an invitation to Rotau chapter of Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society and I accepted it.
I will formally induct you right now, Jess. Don't worry about it there. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. Whoa, I feel the vortex right now as we speak. I'm to focus on the intrinsic. Get to the center of the debate. Ignore everything except the center. Remember to not attempt to host an induction ceremony for a true inductee of the Rotau chapter of Phi Theta Kappa, unless I am a Phi Theta Kappa myself, at least. Set a place for you at my parents' dinner table as usual. Tighten the screws on the alternator. Take the dog to the vet clinic. Post the meeting for today on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Thanks again.
You're welcome and congratulations, scholar.
Humble.
Native or custom? In a nutshell, there's the psychologist Carl Rogers.
Exactly.
We are younger than vampires as scholars. We must face the way we think with integrity. We are a species with the gift of inevitable behavior in this lifetime. I guess that's what gives us a purpose for researching Transylvania.
You would invite me to study Transylvania?
In a nutshell, Mercury wants to spin on its own axis 3 times before it recognizes that sharing is no coincidence. Thus, man wants a successful business. He chooses positive people. Man gets a notion the park is a nice and quiet place to meditate. He goes to the park, right?
Are you aware Mercury simultaneously completes its orbit twice?
Miami and Quebec. Savannah and Atlanta. Mississippi and Hawaii, Augusta and Sapchapi, Crawfordville and Tallahassee, Quincy and Chicago, Cairo and California, Minnesota and New York, Boca Raton and Alabama, Warner Brothers and Lionsgate, 20th Century Fox and Paramount Pictures. I get you. I'm listening.
A correlation is so important we could not interact very well no matter how much we engage until we identify a correlation. Do I bore you?
Go ahead and withdraw whatever you need from my checking account. You can withdraw enough to get a few boats, a new wardrobe, and a car or two. Oh, by the way, make sure you throw in a couple of bottles of Barefoot for Mrs. Barwick as well. That's just to top it all off, you know. Of course, I can only feed myself a can of Vienna sausage most of the time, buy a new pair of dress shoes once every year, pay for unleaded gas $7 at a time, and if I had a date, afford 2 Zaxby takeout boxes for us. I'll see you there, and make sure you make some time for me to speak to you in private. Seriously, it's not what you're going to want people to hear that don't have access to the Lander account.
Is there anything I can get you, or are you okay?
No, thank you, I'm fine, Victoria. I'm fine, yes. Everything is fine. I'd like the bill when you get a chance. As a matter of fact, I need to rush off so the world's most diverse man is not late for the meeting today. I can barely wait to hear what you've prepared for us. You know, I feel like it's something you do for me and then I spend forever trying to think of a way to return the favor. Sometimes passing it forward makes me feel like it's just passing by. And then I remember how many more times wiser than me you are. I have my 20th century feminist writing certification for a reason, you know. Anyway, I've got to go study before the meeting starts, or I'm sure to sink to the bottom of the sea, and that's no joke.
I couldn't make sense of psychology without a circle providing social support for me. It's so important to me to be as healthy as I think I am. See you later, partner.
As long as the world bears witness to the wins and losses, it is possible to accept second place instead of a loss. I mean, we are able to avoid a no-return investment in the field of opportunity.
And accept things we have found to be intrinsic, so we can strengthen our interpersonal intelligence.
Interpersonal intelligence is on one hand, brother, and then on the other hand is intrapersonal intelligence. Each are a component of emotional intelligence, and I wish for continual action towards gathering the measure built on reason, since our language has become a fragment socially.
A current goal, and a desired goal. A desired goal, and each of them are on one hand. Between the two vertices is a third degree known as a gap.
And concrete corridors. The girl that wears mismatching portables. A Duncan or a Pippen, Barkley, Ryan Gretzky.
Encompassing the current goal, desired goal, and gap are milestones. The world has been impacted by it along with already existing socioeconomics, so combined with citizens who withdrew their daughters and sons rather than settle for remote learning, it's controversy we can't escape without implementing Bloom's taxonomy. TCC, FSU, and the MOO do a wonder building leaders to make a better world.
And the time is
time to get to Green Gables, sir.
You can have this old job of mine, Carla. You would be doing me the biggest favor in the world right now. A man gets a notion a park is a nice quiet place to meditate and he goes to a park. Victoria gets a notion she is going where she knows others appreciate her service, so she goes to her job. Victoria, I believe you do a phenomenal job challenging the status quo. I went to Ross the other day to look at some wall hangings and I found some interesting pieces. Some of them I think I am going to have to hang. I still want to hear about a job you want to give away and why. And I bought a new yoga mat while there were still some on the shelf in the process. Jessica, is that you? Huh? Oh, yeah, what was I thinking? Jennifer is somebody else. You're Victoria. The meeting. The one that helps me practice Crime 101X, Psychology of Criminal Justice. Asterisk. Music theory, instruments and rhythm. Asterisk. 20th century feminist writing. Asterisk. Media studies, entertainment and broadcast media. Asterisk. Psychology research methodology. Asterisk. Employer-employee law. Asterisk. Public relations. Asterisk. Cybersecurity framework, foundation from the National Institution of Standards and Technology. Asterisk. Microsoft PowerPoint. Asterisk. Agile methodology. I think I found out something here that will dawn on me after I'm out of the shower and halfway through the toweling process. I know what you mean.
In case I forget to give Wayne his book back today, will you email a reminder to return it? Like right now?
Would Green Gables exist if we the members of Green Gables fail one another?
I doubt it. Just joking. I know you're the board president of Black Male Achievers, and you practice academic, social, and opportunistic excellence.
And others believe in this too. Needs and wants. Differentiating between my need and my want clears a path for my imagination to flow. As long as it can flow, it will. Putting them in perspective creates connections. Given I keep the bigger picture in mind, I can influence positive action, and this describes a catalyst.
And Jess is scheduled to be inducted into Phi Theta Kappa next Thursday, April 15th, because she has a minimum GPA of 3.5 in college.
She gets access to a field of opportunity I can only imagine. Intellectual friendships, scholarships, leadership, service, fellowship and learning to adapt to the lifestyle behavior of a pledge.
She is going to probably submit a recipe to the Nota Bene, New York Times, the National Anthology of Poetry, or Washington Post before it's over with. She's a broadcasting/journalism major.
In one hand there's a trial, and in the other there is an aerodemium.
Paper trail from Subway to Sunny's. Barbecue superstition stories before me.
So yes, critical thinking skills are useful, and to answer your question, Jasmine, yeah, as the class progresses we will talk about the 3 stages of the General Adaptation Syndrome or GAS. How each stage affects us and how to manage stress. Good question.
So I started studying in more than one public place, right? I let egocentrism go through one ear and out of the other. I met my quota and met my quota and met quota, so the position I'm in when the industry goes through a transition is just like working with a public relations committee president as vice president. Sweet.
I don't need to focus on what she is doing just because she is facing away from me. Kinesics involves gestures or body language. Moreover, evade multiple intelligences which are logical, mathematical, spatial, musical, interpersonal, others, intrapersonal, self, naturalistic, and linguistic. I have to worry still no more or less, given she is as important to me as I am to myself. Remember, hindsight bias is not necessarily a behavior that occurs from behind by simply being mindful that we need interpersonal intelligence too. When I stand behind her, I can still make a logical decision that I can count on her to accept, refraining from bias as much as possible. At least remember, she or he has feelings.
Phi Theta Kappa. The daily wear and tear our body takes in order to deal with stress is called allostatic load. We cannot eliminate all stress, so homeostasis is where we find ourselves instead. It is the balance of distress, bad stress, and eustress, good stress. Because our allostatic load can influence our perception, we need to practice health management skills, improve our health behavior, thus impact our lifestyle behavior positively. Hans Selye found while studying our endocrine system, which involves our glands, that during our lifetime the mind and body are associated with one another. It is inappropriate to separate the two. The brain, cerebral cortex, subcortex, and the mind are all real. When a stressor enters, our physiology sensors or neurotransmitters go off, sending a signal to the brain. The hippocampus detects the stressor. Our B cells eliminate once our T cells have identified the stressor. The hypothalamus releases hormones to our body to supply us with strength to regain composure as well as energy. With cortisol, which is an energy hormone, and epinephrine, which is an adrenaline hormone, we can sustain our allostatic load. The light layer of moisture on the surface of our skin, called perspiration, is evidence of mind and body working together. What we perceive is picked up by those neurotransmitters, and our mind agrees with our body, putting us where we need to make smart decisions. The body eventually returns to homeostasis. However, we have to know real ways to reduce stress, like progressive relaxation and autogenic training, to get there. Meditation and relaxation techniques relieve bracing that sometimes can occur during auto-hypnosis, that is, when we are not aware that we are conscientiously coexisting, if you will. As our respiration, heart rate, and blood pressure returns to normal, the distress in our physiological system goes away and our body then needs rest. It happens every day, folks. Take some time to visit the mall, score governor. I don't know. Make yourself a schedule and include fun things to do, like fun station. I don't know. All too well we are familiar with what our own passion, belief, and value is. It's imperative we practice making leaders who will make a better world. Social networking databases need cybersecurity framework. Today's companies need C-suite level female employees. Intelligent characters need good social support groups, and the body needs fun. Scholarship workshops, honors and action projects, membership workshops, animal workshops. We do. This week the big event that is taking place as I speak is the PTK Catalyst 2021 from April 8th through April 10th this year. I'm one of the new inductees. THST was able to pay the membership fee, so I will be fully inducted on the evening of the 15th of this month. We volunteer for the WTXL-27 Turkey Drive during Thanksgiving with Second Harvest and blood drives.
In short, there exists politics and ethics. The same foundations appear in framework. I don't know why it is necessary to test the framework. I don't test it. Agile methodology is essential in training recruits and facilitating transition within an organization that is managed with an agile method. Correlation is a foundation upon which we can develop inferential statistics. Therefore, no bother if it be a positive, negative, zero, or illusory correlation, because the observation is of a dependent, independent, and extraneous variable which impacts both the control group and the experimental group. I like to observe possible placebos, even what might turn out to be a placebo effect. A shower and a Chinese food takeout box. That's how I'm putting this one in the books. I'm going to get a phone call about some images I edited for a cartoon. I submitted one to my Honor Society Chapter 1 belong to. Is going to bed with my boxers. I'm going to fly with the chapter president when she reviews my submission. I mean, I don't want to make the Hallmark committee or PR committee look bad. It's a cartoon, for crying out loud. What, am I going to get sued? By the way, I know somebody in North Dakota that hooks up with a team in Ohio from working in Seattle before Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Hawaii, and amongst 1,300 other chapters in 11 nations. There's a law on this. Go Green Gables. I'm going to hear about Jess and this induction she is preparing for tonight over dinner at my parents' house.
In Green Gables you never know what you're going to come upon. You just know it's either good for you and not good to you, or the other way around. I really have so much to be grateful for. I'm going to admit how inspired by what Jess had happen in her personal life I am, and I feel it coming on in this moment. I'm going to get involved with a Phi Theta Kappa chapter somewhere. I know I owe so much thanks to PTK for social support since the pandemic. Only warm people with cool vibes deserve to hold life by the reins of that honor society. Just trust this. I recognize the academic achievements of college students and provide opportunities for them to become scholars and leaders. November 19, 1918, is it? Okay, I'm in for a shower, a towel dry, and lights out. Text me if you need anything.